Today, the trekkers are taking you to Charlottesville, Virginia, just east of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Piedmont region of Virginia. We're going to take you to Thomas Jefferson's home, the Monticello. And unfortunately, Frank and Brad couldn't be with us, so me and Alfonso will take this one.
I'm David.
And I'm Alfonso.
And we're Virginia Trekkers. And we're here today in Charlottesville, Virginia, at Thomas Jefferson's home, the Monticello.
We're going to take you on a little tour. We're going to show you the whole grounds. It's a lot bigger than what you see. And if this looks a little bit familiar to you, you may have been looking at a nickel.
That's right, because the Monticello is on the backside of the nickel.
So get ready and let's go trekking. Hey boys and girls, I found a friend. You may know him. His name is Tom. Well, Thomas really. Thomas Jefferson. I know, buddy.
Well, look what a tall guy Thomas Jefferson is. You may not have known it, but he's taller than the trekkers. This is a life-size statue of him.
And he's not only taller in size, but he is just larger than life. What he has accomplished in his lifetime is unbelievable.
Thank you, Thomas. Or as the French say, merci.
Very cool.
Because he was the French ambassador.
Give me 5, bro.
The Monticello is a lot bigger than it looks. Besides the main house, there's also the North Dependencies and the South Dependencies. Alfonso and I are going to head over to the South Dependency, where Thomas Jefferson's first house was.
Hey boys and girls, here we are at Monticello. Well, it's not really Monticello, but it is part of Monticello. It was the first structure that was arisen here at Monticello, and this is where in 1770 Thomas Jefferson lived in.
And it was just a small one-room house at first, because that huge Monticello that we showed you in our beginning, that was built a little bit later.
Right next to the South Dependencies was Thomas Jefferson's gardens, and there was a long path called Mulberry Row.
Here we are at Mulberry Row. This was an important pathway on the grounds of the Monticello. It was lined with mulberry trees, and also along one side was all the workshops for sustaining the big plantation house, because you know that plantations were self-sustaining. What kind of things did they have, Alfonso?
Well, in this 1,000-foot long road, which is the center of the Monticello workforce, they had things like blacksmiths, they had wash houses, they had places to store their food. It was basically, in our terms now, a nice shopping strip that we go to buy our items. And that's what they had here at Monticello. Behind me we have the joinery. This is where they made fine wood furniture for the Monticello house. And they had folks who made the nails, and those would be African-American slaves who made between 5,000 and 10,000 pounds of nails each day in order to complete this woodwork. And here's what's remaining of the joinery. As you can see over here behind me, agriculture was a very important part of Virginia. In fact, it still is. It all started here. You can see where they have cucumbers. You can see where they have herbs especially. Thomas Jefferson was famous for having what they call a green thumb, and he brought back many, many ideas when he left abroad to France and Europe, and he brought those ideas back.
And what's cool about a plantation house is that you didn't have to go out and buy your food. You grew all your food right here in the garden. And it's a beautiful garden. Now, you've seen the area around the Monticello. It's beautiful. There's the hills. It's not quite into the Blue Ridge Mountain region yet. It's still in the Piedmont region.
Charlottesville is just west of the southwest mountains of Virginia. It parallels the Blue Ridge Mountains about 20 miles to the west.
But there are beautiful hills in this area, and Thomas Jefferson wanted to be able to see all those. He didn't want it to be ruined with a bunch of buildings. So Alfonso is going to tell you what he did to solve that problem.
What Thomas Jefferson did is he had what they call the hidden dependencies. Things like the stable, things like the wash house, the storage areas. All those things that were very important in order to keep Monticello House independent. To keep Monticello independent were down below. This way, it did not obstruct the beautiful view, and it kept all the going-ons down below.
He was a smart man.
He was indeed. That's why he was your president. Which president was he, boys and girls?
the third president.
Unfortunately, the trekkers were not allowed to show you the inside of the Monticello, so we're going to keep on showing you the outside. Let's go straight down Mulberry Row to the Monticello graveyard where Thomas Jefferson is buried.
Here we are at Thomas Jefferson's grave, and he made an agreement with a childhood friend, Dabney Carr, that he'd be buried here underneath the old tree that used to be here. It's gone now. But he's buried there along with his friend, and his whole family's there. And something that's interesting about Thomas Jefferson when he died on July 4th, which was the same day that John Adams died as well. Well, boys and girls, we hope you enjoyed your tour of the Monticello. Here we are on the back side of the Monticello.
We hope that you learned a little bit about the dependencies that Thomas Jefferson created in order to maintain the house Monticello.
And that's our word of the day, dependent, because he wrote the Declaration of Independence. And this is a plantation which is independent. They grow all their own food and make all their own stuff.
It's a great thing to be independent.
Come on and visit the Monticello someday in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Boys and girls, keep on trekking.
Here we are today in Charlottesville at the Monticello, Jefferson's home.
We're going to find out a little... I thought we were supposed to say I'm Dave. We're not doing that?
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So now we're going to go ahead and take a tour and show you what the full structure Monticello looks like. And now we're going to take a little trip over to where Thomas Jefferson and his family are buried.
We're not going to do that. That's going to be the end.
Where the heck are we going now?
Let's see, which one is Alfonso?
Thank you very much.
Which one is Alfonso? Is that Alfonso? Here, Alfonso, can he pose with you?
He thinks we look alike. So
I'm saying he's like his dad or something. Here's Alfonso and his long lost son.
It's been a long journey, but we found each other.
Here we are at Mulberry Row, and Alfonso's getting a call on his dumb cell phone. He's caused me so much stress on this trip.
Yeah, we got it right now. We're filming right now. It's my wife. She's on the phone.
Come on, Doris. Time's running out. Introduce your family, Alfonso.
All right. Here we have Langley, horse fanatic and soccer fanatic. Here we have Will King, soccer fanatic and race car fanatic. And here we have Janet King and just a fanatic.
I knew where that was going. Woo! Hello!
Can you see any family? So we are in Charlottesville. We're getting ready to go talk all about Monticello. So let's go trekking.
Yeah.
And do a little bit of DJing. Boys and girls, it's not cool to be late. And I'm about to be late to a very important DJ gig. But I'm doing it for you, the children.